I'm Anil Kumar sharing with you questions from a test paper. Now this is the test paper on properties of limits. You can copy some of these questions. We will try to solve the very first question in this particular video. You can copy question number 2 also, right? You can pause the video, copy the questions, and we'll take up those questions later in the coming videos. Let us see how to solve the very first question, which is dealing with properties of limits. The question is, if limit of the function when x approaches 7 is equal to minus 5, use the properties of limits to evaluate each limit. A is limit when x approaches 7 for cube root of 22 minus f of x divided by x. And B is limit when x approaches 7 for half of x squared plus f of x squared minus 2x divided by f of x. Now you can actually pause the video, solve the question, and then look into my suggestion. Now let us apply the properties of limits and find the solution. Now when we say properties of limits, what we really mean? We have properties that sum of limits is same as the limit of the sum, product of limits is same as limit of the products, quotient of limit is same as quotient of the limits, right? So we'll apply those properties. Let's begin with the very first one. So we can write limit for this particular function when x approaches 7. We could write this as, within cube root, we can write this as limit x approaches 7 for 22, right? Minus, this is difference of limit, right? Limit x approaches 7 for f of x, right? Divided by limit x approaches 7 for x. So that becomes overall quotient limit, which we first applied, that is the property, and then within the square root we are applying the difference of limits, right? Now we know the limit of the function is minus 5. Okay, now within the cube root, limit for 22, which is a constant, so the limit for constant will be the constant itself, so that is going to be 22, minus limit of the function we are given as minus 5, so let me write that in brackets, minus 5, cube root of all this, divided by limit of x when x approaches 7, we'll substitute 7 here and we get 7. Correct. So what we get here is cube root of 22 plus 5 divided by 7. Now 22 plus 5 is 27. So cube root of 27 divided by 7. Cube root of 27 is 3, right? So we get 3 over 7 as our answer. So that becomes the solution for part A, right? Now let us do part B. So we'll do the same method. So we could write this as limit x approaches 7 for half of x square plus limit x approaches 7 for f of x square minus, we could also write this 2 outside, right? We could write this as 2 limit x approaches 7 for x, since 2 is a constant, it's a multiple by constant, right? Divided by limit when x approaches 7 for f of x. Now in the first case we can substitute 7 here. 7 square is 49, so we get half times, let me write 7 square first. Here limit could be written as a limit for f of x when x approaches 7 whole squared, you get the idea, right? Minus 2 times limit of x when x approaches 7 is 7 divided by limit of f of x and x approaches 7, that is given to us as minus 5, so we'll write minus 5 here. So this is half of 49 plus, now here we know that the limit of the function is minus 5, so it is minus 5 squared, minus 2 times 7 is 14, right, divided by minus 5. So you could simplify this a bit, 49 by 2 plus 5 square is 25. You can actually use the calculator. So let's do 25 minus 14, and then we'll divide by 5. So we get 11 over 5. This negative makes it positive, makes it negative. So we could write this as minus 11 over 5. Correct? Now we can take common denominator, which is 10, and 49 times 5 is 245. 245 minus 22, right? So we'll do minus 22 is 223. So we get 223 over 10, right? So 22. So that is what we get. You can say 22.3 as your answer, right? So that could be 22.3 as the answer for this particular limit, right? So, or you could write in fractions, 22 whole 3 over 10, as you wish. Anyway, so both are the right solutions for the given limit. I hope you understand the method, how we can use properties of limits and find limit of a function when we are given limit of another function. I hope that helps. Thank you and all the best.